know what happens inside the media mentorship mega mansion, right? Why are there traumatized entrepreneurs? It's gonna be one of those ones when I go all the way up. You know, when you go all the way up, you ask all your people to join you, like, yo, let's actually turn this shit all the way up to the next level. Like, let's really see what's the problem, what's going on, who feels this same exact way, right? Like, I really want to dive into that, right? Media mentorship, Stack Pack Media, everyone that's been supporting, I appreciate you guys because guess what? It never goes unnoticed. Ever, ever, ever goes. I'm telling y'all, it never goes unnoticed. I'm not playing no games, especially on this journey, especially around this time around, right? This time around is gonna be, nothing but fire, right? And I love these topics because we get to all think. We all get to go back in the back of our minds and say, you know what? What is the problem? Why are there so many traumatized entrepreneurs? Man, I can't wait to talk about this. Rocky, how you feeling? Can you introduce yourself if the people don't know who you are, sis? How you feeling, man? How you feeling about today? How you feeling in general?
Oh, good afternoon. This is an interesting topic. Traumatized entrepreneurs. There's a reason why we're traumatized. Hey everyone, my name is Rocky. I am an Instagram strategist, social media strategist, and I have a marketing agency. And I do social media management. There's a lot of things that I do. Entrepreneurship. I'm not going to answer the question now because I know you're going to get to the conversation, but yeah, this should be good.
I can't wait to hear about it too because I've seen so many people, Rocky, just be damaged from things that happen into their lives. Or maybe, a lot of different situations didn't go that the way they wanted it to. And it's okay. It's okay that situations don't go the way you need them to. You want to know why? Because it's always going to be a chance to shine like a champion. I done seen people go through some of the toughest battles, Rocky. The toughest battles, and then come out on top. Like, it's okay to go through some things. It's normal. I feel like we need to. It's okay, Rocky. Like we're gonna face some challenges. We're gonna face some roadblocks. But it's up to you to get up in there and be like, yo, I'm gonna be a champion the next day. I'm still gonna thrive. Nobody's gonna take my energy from me. I gotta pour the energy all the way in. It's up to you. You gonna. It's like for real. The trauma's either gonna make you or break you. Let me say that again, Rocky. It's either gonna make them or break them. I don't know what the trauma's gonna do for you, but it's gonna motivate me. If I go through something or I go through a little trials and tribulations, I'm just going to want to hop back in and go hard, or wake up the next day and say, you know what, I can be a strong entrepreneur, or I can still, walk in my passion and not let the trauma take me off course. This is why I made this topic because I feel like a lot of people let the trauma scare them away from a lot of business deals too. Don't let that shit scare you away from no business deals. Don't let it take you off the track. I've seen this before. I've seen things let people off track. I've seen your mindsets get fuzzy. No, don't let your mindset get fuzzy up here. Trauma, I feel like trauma's supposed to make a warrior. Trauma's supposed to make you a warrior, right? Like if you go through something, it's really shows in your character how hard you're gonna bounce back. Hold on, right? Miss Manifest. I don't think they listen.
Bring it back.
Bouncing
Say it
back,
again.
bouncing back, getting back on your feet, not just seeing the trauma, but then actually turning up after. Like, you know what? I went through some trauma, but you know what? I'm going to dive way back in harder and really show people what I'm made of. Why I should be an entrepreneur or why I should be at the table, right? It's all about your mindset. How many mindset rooms we've done had in here? I talk about mindset 24/7. Mindset is the key. Mindset's going to get you there. But you can't let the trauma scare you. The trauma scared. If the trauma scared a lot of people, you wouldn't have a business. Let me keep it real. If the trauma is gonna scare you, you might as well just get out the business, or you gonna let it crumble, right? Come on, I need y'all ladies to heat it up for me, guys. I appreciate you, Pierre, too, Anissa. Look, how you guys feeling about this topic so far? I'm gonna be pinging it up. I need you guys to warm it up for me. Why are there traumatized entrepreneurs? We're breaking barriers today, but I want to know why are there so many
Zach, can
trauma
you
ones?
Can you clarify what trauma you're
Like
talking
it
about?
could
Are you
be,
talking about trauma
yeah,
from our
yeah, your
past or trauma from
past. It could
experiences
be
in business?
clients, your past from when you were younger, whatever. And it could be leaking out today. It could be leaking out in your business and affecting you in some way. How you feeling about that, Rocky?
I like what you said earlier when you were talking about letting your trauma push you, because I realized for myself, some of the trauma was holding me back, but I use it to motivate me. Like, a lot of us have money traumas. Anytime you open your mouth and say, I can't afford, or no, baby girl, we can't get this because, or, anything like that, in terms of money for me, the money mindset part was the traumatic piece for me. Now, as far as having toxic clients, and stuff like that, I've been there before where I've had clients that were super toxic, and it made me stop being a social media manager altogether, because I always tell people, don't get it twisted. I am the expert. I work for you, but I don't work for you, to be clear. So there's a lot of different things, and it really
Hold up,
teaches
say that
you.
again, Rocky. Don't let that go over their head. You said you work for them, but you don't work for them. Can you
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
clarify that up for us today in
Yeah,
the Media Mentor
absolutely.
House?
Absolutely. So, especially with social media managers or any coach or service, someone that provides a service, oftentimes we get treated as if we're their employees, and in reality, we're helping you out through our service. So we are serving you. So we're supposed to work together as a team. I don't work for you like I'm your employee. It's kind of like, my biggest trauma is people hiring me, but then telling me how to do my job. Because why did you hire me? You knew I was the expert when you hit that button, when you called me, when you set up the appointment. So now that I'm doing the job, now you want to tell me what I'm doing right and wrong? It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. So I had to kind of get over that and realize, really it comes down to you choosing who your clients are. They're interviewing you, but you're interviewing them as well, because you don't have to take them just for the money. So that was my little trauma spiel that I had to get over.
Wow, Rocky. Look, if you guys agreeing with Rocky, put a one in the chat. Let's start heating this up. Let's start pinging the room up, sharing the room up. Let's go. I want to hear from different mindsets. Rocky, thank you for that. Miss Manifest, you got any words to chime in with this one? Let's keep this fire going.
Of
Passing the
course I
torch.
do. Can y'all hear me clearly? Let
Loud
me
and
know.
clear.
Woo, baby, I'm excited about this because a lot of people don't realize the trauma in entrepreneurs comes from imposter syndrome also, right? Imposter syndrome, not believing that you could actually do the thing that you said you're going to do, not having the coaching course. Maybe you don't have the clients right away. You calling them clients, but they're not paying, right? So that's a trauma. You're like, dang, I'm not making no money, but I have clients. So I had to help people through that because I went through that, right? I could only help with what I went through. Shout out to y'all. Thank you, Queen of Renthia, Miss Self Love. Thank you, everybody, being in the room, y'all. Let's go. Let's ping out the room. This is big,
Yo,
right?
sis, before you do any bombs, they gotta get it up to like 10. I know
Oh,
you about to go
oh, yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
You
yeah. You
went
know I'm about
crazy
to.
yesterday. Renty, I gotta hold her
Can we
back
get
a
20
little bit.
shares? What's
Yeah,
going
can we
on?
get the shares up? Cause they got as soon as my sis start firing it up, y'all already know what's going
Let
on,
me
right?
share this out to all these communities.
Yeah, share this out before we get anywhere. Cause I already know you already know when
Mm-hmm.
Miss Manifest get busy, it's gonna be crazy. Matter of fact, put a fire emoji in the chat. Put a fire emoji in the chat real quick. Actually, we about to turn this room on. Let's get over 13. Look, we already did. Let's go. Let's turn up.
Met the best switch lanes, Lambo roll with Maybach range. Yeah, sky high fly like cranes, car high class don't eat low main. All white seats look like cocaine. Infinite not flames, run around with that propane. Met the best switch lanes.
Hold on. Y'all did that shit before I could even say nothing. Y'all went crazy. Let me get 15. Let me get 15 at least before my sis go crazy. Cause y'all know she about to burn this shit up. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Miss Manifest. I think they ready for you. You know what I'm saying? I just needed to get a little turn before you go in. Let's go.
Ooh. Everybody, while I'm talking, let's get it up to 20, right? Because I feel like this is about to be an amazing room, like as per usual. Let me know if you can hear me or I start breaking up because I see a red bar. But listen, y'all, I Miss Manifest. I teach everything about having 100% faith in anything that you do. With imposter syndrome, a lot of us, have you ever felt like, man, dang, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I can manifest a client paying me, right? Have you ever felt like that one time in your life? Put a heart in the chat because my heart goes out to you because I remember that feeling. That feeling wasn't good. It wasn't. I had to literally come up with a podcast and really show what I was to the world through a podcast because I really didn't know how to speak because my friends and family didn't believe in me. So my trauma came from my friends and family as well as my childhood. When I was younger, my kindergarten teacher bullied me for not speaking Spanish because I'm Afro Latina, right? So my mom is Puerto Rican, my dad was black, right? And I was also adopted. So I never spent time with my biological mother and father. I spent time with my grandparents. They adopted me. When I came out the womb, I was given to my grandmother. So a lot of people didn't like me. My family didn't like me because I was the firstborn, was taken in, right? So they didn't. Then my kindergarten was bullying me. That was trauma. So I didn't really do it as I got older because I was just I felt like, dang, my kindergarten teacher is crazy, you know. And I literally grew up through the bullying stage from the beginning of kindergarten to all the way to high school. Dropped out, and I went into vocational school, and I got my GED. And that's when I started to really learn myself. Let me know if y'all can hear me. I see a red bar. It's
Yeah,
thick
it's
stuff.
going in and out a little bit, sis.
Oh,
It's
it
going
is.
in and out.
Oh,
You good now? It's
all
just
right.
chippy a little bit.
Okay. All right. So the trauma from that, I literally was able to learn myself by going through the things that I went through. Right. So the bullying turned me into a powerful speaker because once I finally started speaking, it came out like water. I had so much to help. Like a lot of people didn't know I was helping people. Like I literally been coaching since I came out the womb. Like seriously, I've always wanted people to be better. I'm a Capricorn. So I'm always have a dream. I'm like, how can I help you get to the next level? You feel me? The Michelle Obama is a Capricorn, right? So I always felt like I had that presidential energy because I looked at the people that was doing amazing things as a Capricorn, and I was like, I could be the next person. And that's what I did. So I pushed hard in my business to beat imposter syndrome and going through the bullying stages and listening to myself to be better and listening to positive information. Y'all gotta get to this. You gotta listen to positive information. You gotta stay in these rooms because we believe in you. Stack is not doing this room just for his health. It's to be able to help y'all become leaders and be better. So it's important for you to share the room out. That's why we hit 20 shares, right? Let's get it up some more. Share it with your business bestie, share it with your friends. Let's get to it because you don't know what traumas they're going through. So if you ever been bullied or your friends and family was like literally doubting you or they just been abusing you or misusing you, this is the room where you could be yourself. Drop some fires in the chat if you love what I'm talking about and that you're ready to take yourself to the next level. Let's go, y'all. I'm gonna give it back to you, bro Stack. Thank you so much for doing this room. I'm excited. Let's
Ooh,
go.
that's the energy you're supposed to have right there. I appreciate you. Look, if you guys are just joining, we're talking about why are there traumatized entrepreneurs. Doesn't matter who goes in. Y'all could take this mic. We don't want to go, but I want to go dive. I want to dive in deep today. So everybody that's on stage, come on, man, how y'all feeling about this? Right? How is everyone feeling? I want somebody to get the fire and going. Miss Self Love, is that you? What's good?
Yeah, I'm gonna go really quickly. Thank you, Stack with the Pack. Yes, business bestie. I love your share, Miss Manifest. You're so right about imposter syndrome. And thank you, Stack with the Pack, for doing the Media Mentors Room. This is a deep discussion. You know, trauma in entrepreneurs. I didn't realize that. I at first I only took it from a breakup aspect as to people going through breakups, but then I realized when I started working with entrepreneurs that a lot of reasons why they're struggling in their businesses is because of trauma. And it really went really deep as to far as they're in toxic relationships, romantic, friends. You're not going to make it as an entrepreneur sleeping in bed with the enemy. I realize they have a hard time in letting go so they can grow. You have to let go so you can grow. You cannot change and stay the same. You cannot change and stay the same. You're going to have to make a change in order to grow, which means letting people go so you can grow, letting things go so you can grow, and adding on to
If you
that.
guys agree with Miss Self Love, put a one in the chat. I'm gonna discuss that too, Miss Self Love. Keep talking about that.
Right. They're fighting with the detoxing and detaching. They expected that their friends and family are going to support them, and then when they didn't, their friends and family are not signing up for their programs, but their friends and family are signing up for other people that sell the same products. So they're getting upset with that. So that's causing trauma. They expected more support. So going through that detach process of realizing that you're outgrowing people and people can't go with you is causing a lot of trauma. I noticed in a toxic relationship is causing a lot of trauma. So really the detachment is what entrepreneurs didn't really expect that they would have to go through. And then when they're going through it, yeah. Then when they're going through it, I see that that's where their trauma is coming from, and they're kind of getting stuck right there. So I would have to say stay around positive people. Accept the detachment, embrace it, because entrepreneurship really opens your eyes to who really is supposed to be around you. It's self love, it's growing. So embrace that detachment process and welcome in your new self, your higher self, and new people. So do that. Everybody in here, you got this. Thank you, Stack with the Pack, for joining this room and letting me speak. I appreciate all of you.
Look, detaching from the toxic things, Miss Self Love. She said it right there. Sometimes you gotta let these situations go. It's okay. Not everything's gonna work out. I realized that early on. It's okay. Put a fire emoji in the chat if y'all agree. Everything's not going to work out. It's okay to readjust the circle, readjust the plan, readjust the mission to get to where you need to go. I'm telling you, it's okay. Not everybody's made to go through the door with you. That's why a lot of people be looking back like, damn, why I don't got this so and so around me, or why this person ain't around me? Is because guess what? The journey's only made for you. The journey was made for you. It wasn't made for everybody else. You came here alone. You gonna leave alone. I realized that switching different situations, going to different companies, working with it's okay. You're gonna find different situations. What's made for you will be for you. That's what I got from that, Miss Self Love. Look, if you guys are just now joining, we're talking about why are there traumatized entrepreneurs. Miss Manifest went in, Miss Self Love went in, and I want you guys to go into this is going right on the podcast on stackpackpodcast.com. It's going to be right on iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, viral, everywhere. I'm going on every platform. But I appreciate you guys for the shares and for being here. Who else would like to take the mic and go in about why are there traumatized entrepreneurs? It's an open floor. I
Stack.
see Angelic Vibes coming through and I see Pierre. So Pierre, over to you, and then we can come up to Angelic Vibes after. Go ahead, Pierre.
Okay. All right. Can you hear
I
me
can hear
okay,
you loud
Stack?
and clear, brother. Let's go.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Pierre Du Bois at Zamana Analytics. I work with small, medium-sized businesses on their analytics data, helping them improve their digital marketing. To the topic of the room, why are there traumatized entrepreneurs? I can probably summarize it
Come on,
simply.
Pierre, give it to us.
Yeah, one word. It's basically you don't. It's basically it's very hard to be an entrepreneur. But if I had to put a word on it, it's that you can't reflect. Probably that's two words. I'll take that. It's very hard as an entrepreneur to kick back, look at and assess your life, particularly the first 2 years. You're spending a lot of time building a business. Building a business is not easy. If I'm coming to Stack and saying, let's say if I'm coming to Stack and saying, hey Stack, I'm Pierre, I do all analytics. Stack still needs to get to know me to make a decision to say, hey, I like Pierre, but I need to understand what's his service and is his service right for me. That takes time to do. It takes your eye off the ball, off of personal things, which I think for a lot of people it's helpful when things are going great. But the downside is that you can't be in a corner being existential and thinking about your life until these things come up. I think what Rocky brought up is a little bit true. And I think it was Miss 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 Self. I hope I didn't mess up the name,
Miss
but
Self Love, Miss
Miss
Self
Self
Love.
Love. Thank you, thank you. I thought they brought up some really good points. Your friends and family, um, they loved you in a certain capacity, and that's okay. To what Stack has been saying earlier, that's okay. When you start a business, you move differently. You just don't have enough time for. You may not have enough time to hang with people in certain situations. You may not have enough time to recognize when somebody is being supportive. I think the real toughness is when people who do support you at the beginning may not be the right people to carry you into the next level. Like
If
Stack
y'all
has
agree
talked
with
about.
Pierre, put a one in the chat. Cook that up, Pierre. Go in on
Yeah,
that a little bit, brother. Let's go.
and to bring the Stacks point, that is okay because they may not your friends and family might be able to support you. Let's say if you're opening a restaurant, yeah, they might eat there the first one or two times, but it's also not. You can't expect them to eat at the restaurant all the time. It would be nice to, but sometimes they can't. My mother, I love very dearly, 92 years of age, grew up at a different time where, yes, black entrepreneurship was important, but it's not as hyper or as direct as it is now. And when I first started, she didn't quite understand what I was doing. She was trying to figure out why I wasn't an engineer anymore like I was at Ford for 8 years. When I did a presentation, I think I was at least, I've been in business for 15 years. I was at least maybe 8 years into it. And I'll be honest with you, that's still a very good moment because that after I did that presentation, she was in the audience. She got to see what I did and started to ask questions. Now, don't get me wrong, I still love my mother. I don't think there's any brother out here who doesn't love his mom. But sometimes even the closest of us who has supported us in certain roles can't may not understand what you're doing, and it can be very tough because you know that they mean well, but you also know that mean well isn't what you need. Like Stack says, you got to bring the fire. You got to throw yourself into the business. You got to throw yourself into understanding your revenue, understanding your cost, and what your business model is. And some people may not be able to understand it. So the advice I would give very quickly, I'll release the mic in a bit. I'll try to make it into three things. Number one, when people are being toxic, decide what the level of toxicity is that you can deal with and what you can't. There's going to be some comments that really, to be honest with you, you just need to let that be what it is and keep yourself rolling. Your customers are looking for you. If Stack was looking for someone to do analytics and I'm the right person, I cannot waste my time being existential and trying to think over and reflect over somebody's, forgive the language, bumfuck comment on, for something else. Uh,
Facts. Facts.
you got, Stacks depending on me. Your customers are depending on you. So that's the focus. That's the high order. Second part of it, I mentioned about toxic. For me, it was basically let the small comments go. Toxic. Like I said, you got to think about who what the toxicity is, and that could be just as simple as somebody directly telling you that you can't make it. And I can tell you off the bat, I've worked with small business owners where they were told that. I've seen women, ladies, whoever you marry or date, that's going to lead to my next point here. Um, Sometimes those people who want to put the ring on your finger, they may not be able to be the right people to support you when you launch your business. I've seen women kind of get kneecapped
Yup. They
because of
ain't got
that.
the right
So
mind for the business. Yup.
yeah. So you have to even your partners, you have to think about again, the time commitment, everything that you put into it. And then the third thing is if you know that you got some people that you're trying to figure out how to if self care is important. Um don't get me wrong, self care is very important, but think about, if you know some people who are being positive with you, find one or two simple things that you can do with them that might be a great way to stay connected, but not so much. Not that it's so traumatic or so much a big effort to put together. That could be just simply having a meal at a restaurant just for an hour. Keep those things simple, particularly in your first year. You're not going to have a lot of time to think over anything. You're not going to have a lot of time to you may not have a lot of time for be for yourself, but there may be one or two people who you really still need to kind of sit down and just maybe talk about something that just isn't about the business for that moment. Um, that those sort of simple things can help you, and I think it will help you to not. I'm not going to say you're not going to be traumatized, but you have to know how to manage people. And I think it just takes time to figure that out. But enjoy the ride, enjoy the success that you gain, and like Stack has been telling you, there's just going to be some things you just need to kind of let roll off your back because people are depending on you, and your customers need to see and hear how you deliver. That's the stuff that they want to see and hear. And sometimes that can be just enough to get you through the day when you are feeling bad. I'm going to release the mic. I'm going to let others join in, and thank you for allowing me to speak.
I love that, Pierre. Look, we going all the way in, man. Put a heart in the chat if y'all enjoying this conversation. I love this right here. Touch up on some things that Pierre said. You sleeping with the wrong person, you marrying the wrong person, it's gonna be a downfall to the business. They ain't gonna understand the grind. They ain't gonna understand this shit. We can't be on two different. We. Oh my god, I can't stress this enough. Thank you for saying that, Pierre. And another thing that I wanted to address that he said is, it's okay. Sometimes your family and your friends, man, they may think this shit's a joke. People around you, and gotta be the outside world. I told y'all when I got on Clubhouse, I got the distribution deal, the record label deal. I started the marketing the business. Yes, I had to get on the outside world. I couldn't just stay and looking at the shit that I was used to. If I kept looking at the shit that I was used to, I would have never got to another level. You gotta stay get outside the box. If you wanna become something, you can't stay looking inside the box. You gotta get outside that shit all the time. So Pierre, thank you for coming in here, man. Media Mentor Mega Mansion, you're always welcome. Please click the link at the top if you guys not a part of the Media Mentors because we want more entrepreneurs to go hard. Going hard in your business. We want results. We want you. And if you got any questions, it's always an open stage. Reach out to us. Let's get it in. Look, who else wants to take this mic and
What's
talk
up?
about
Mark? Here,
this
what's
right now? Well, go ahead, Tavares. It's on you, man. Let's
happening
go.
with it, Sec? Yo, why are there so many traumatized entrepreneurs? I'm gonna touch on it like this. I got to get going, but I'm gonna touch on this. Successful people are people who learn to solve
Uh oh.
problems.
Uh
A
oh.
lot
What
of
you say? Say it again.
I said successful people are people who learn to solve problems.
Sheesh. Put
Okay,
a chat.
a lot of
Put
the
something
times
in the
we have
chat if y'all agree while
entrepreneurs.
he's cooking up, man.
A lot of the times we have people in these opportunities and they enter these opportunities with ego. What's important that we all understand is that the ego is a resistance against what is. Okay? That's what the ego is. It's a way that the mind and the body resist life as it is. Many entrepreneurs, we will get into business, and I can say we because I've been in this before. So we get into business and we don't consider a lot of things. We don't consider the demand, right? We don't consider the process. We don't consider the people that we may or may not have to go to ask for help. Ego isn't a thing, it's more of a verb. It's the pushing away or pulling towards. Many of us are fighting with ourselves because we're afraid. We're afraid of what life may trigger. We're afraid of what life may bring our way. We're afraid of feeling our emotions. So when we go into business with a lot of preconceived notions. What's important to understand is that the world is two things: objects and space. Okay, that's what it is. You have an opportunity to make things happen for yourself if you indeed want them. Okay, you got to focus on what you want. You have to be intentional about your personal growth. When it comes to being an entrepreneur, you also have to tune up on your personal health, your spiritual health. How you going to expect to have a great business and not be in good health? You putting in all this work, you may not be around to even reap the benefits of all your work, all your labor. So
Yes, sir.
when it comes to recognizing the traumas, first recognize your trauma. Trauma is power. If you give it a moment, give it a chance. Go into those dark corners of your mind and acknowledge where you are. Even the broken parts of who you are make up who you are today. Don't evade and avoid that stuff. Don't pick and choose what you want your dreams to be based on how stressful they may or may not be. Understand, you can be a student. Those who are students, we are awake, but those who stay awake, we become teachers. In this space that we are in, as entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs alike, it's important that each one teach one. It's important that we take that time to center up, to ask ourselves the tough questions so that we can move above and beyond, and therefore we can lift as we rise. When we talk about our traumas, we are taking back our power. That's all I got for right now.
Lift as we rise. Tavares, you went in, man. Put something in the chat if y'all agree, man. Blow this chat up. Share the room out, man. We should have over 25. He went all the way in. Damn, media mentors. There's always some powerful shares. I appreciate you guys for joining. Miss Manifest, Miss Self Love, Beth, Arinthia, Shay, Queen, Angelic Vibes, Tasia, Linzea, Kirk, Andrea, Crypto, Valerie, Angelica, Steve, Santosh, Eamon, and everybody else on the stage. Y'all know I rock with y'all. Y'all know. Let's go. Let's keep this going though. Y'all know what it is. Why are there traumatized entrepreneurs? We're breaking barriers today. I love these strong shares. We're coming in. We're diving in. Who wants to
Hop in
come next?
here.
Is that Queen Arinthia? Let's go.
Let's go. Listen, I'm hopping in here because I just wanted to piggyback off of what Tavares has said. And you know what, that moment when you actually give your trauma a moment to process, that's called you actually doing the shadow work, giving that time for that darkness to process. Because all of us, every single one of us in here, we don't even really realize that a lot of the things that we go through, that's really empowering us to move forward. It really becomes a seed that we plant that's going to be like, oh, because of this thing, I'm not going to let this thing happen to me
Put something in the
anymore.
chat if y'all agree with Arinthia. I like that. That
Feel
planting that
me?
seed. Let's go.
Plant that seed that's taken from the trauma. And now you use that seed, you water it, you water that problem that you had. And now that problem turns into a solution because now you are the proof to that actual problem. Like I went through this thing. Now I can tell you how to get out of it. And the same problem can come to 50 different entrepreneurs and it's handled in 50 different ways. I hope y'all know that. So every trauma is not going to be embraced or is not going to be processed in the same manner for every single entrepreneur. There's going to be a different journey forward for every single entrepreneur. It's not going to look the same. But there will be people that are looking for you to share that unique experience and that journey forward so they can get through how they need to get through. And I think the reason there are so many traumatized entrepreneurs is, I mean, everybody in here hit the nail on the head with what you all were saying, but a lot of us, we just don't give ourselves a chance to really just fail and be comfortable with that.
That's deep right there, Arinthia.
A
Well,
lot of us just, we feel like we supposed to be on it all the time. You know what? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a boss. I'm this. I'm that. And yeah, it's awesome to affirm that about yourself. But what you're also not allowing yourself to do while you're affirming that is you're not allowing yourself to bump your head, fall down, skid your knee, get back up, feel empowered that, you know, I'm gonna use what I've learned in this perceived negative moment to now propel me forward and help other people. Because a lot of us see our negative moments as like a F on our report card. Ain't no way I could show that to my mom. Ain't no way I could show that to the people who, you know, believe in me or are supposed to push forward with me, right? But a lot of times that F on your report card is actually helping people figure out how to move forward, how to take what they saw with you and now put that into action for themselves so they don't do it in their own lives. So I just encourage every entrepreneur. The journey, it's not easy, but let me tell you, the journey is always going to be worth it if you're truly dedicated to what you're doing, if you really have a solution to put out into this world. Because Tavares was right. The successful entrepreneurs have a solution to a problem. Now, how deep that problem is, where that problem goes, how many people are suffering with that problem, it's totally up to you as an entrepreneur, what niche you're picking to get in and what problem you're devoted to solving. But find the problem that you are a solution to, and you will be successful now or later. So I'm gonna hand the mic back to you,
Queen,
Stack. You
look,
got your
Queen
say?
Arinthia. Let's go.
yo,
She going crazy. I got you. Tavares, real quick, and then I'm gonna
real quick.
reset. Go ahead, brother.
Yo, Orinthia, Queen, well said. Get back in the ring of life. It's gonna be hard. It's your dream, and your dream is hard. So handle it. Acknowledge that life is hard. I love what Orinthia said. She said we're gonna bump our heads. Look, y'all, it's gonna happen. Acknowledge that life is hard, so that when it gets hard, you've already prepared yourself for it. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. When we seek the easy road, that's when we are evading our own greatness. Do not evade your own greatness. It takes courage to live. Let's all agree on that. Hands down. It takes courage to live.
Facts.
Handle
Facts.
it. It's life. We make it harder on ourselves when we don't plan. I'm going to say that one more time. We make it harder on ourselves when we don't plan. You're going to make some mistakes. That's okay. Give yourself grace. Show yourself patience. Okay. Most people don't have vision, but I believe the people in this room, we all have vision. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Stick to your dream and have patience. Plan your work and work your plan. How you spend your time speaks to who you are. Okay. Work hard and develop yourself. Jump out there and say, I am here. Don't let life intimidate you. Thanks, Stacks.
Come on, man. We in the building. If you guys are enjoying this, put a one in the chat. Arinthia, I love what you said. Bump your head. Do that a little bit so you can learn. I remember doing that as a kid. Man, it's okay. Doing these little mistakes, coming in there like that, right? So you can learn what to do better next time. It's all right. It happens. Like I feel like that makes the most champions. I ain't gonna lie with y'all. It makes the most champions every time. It makes the like when you make a mistake and they know how to bounce back harder. It always makes champions all the time, every time. So, Rinty, I love what you said. Tavares, I love what you said, man. Let's do one quick reset. Ping this room up, man. Share this room up. We in the Media Mentors talking about why are they traumatized entrepreneurs. Click the link at the top. Look at some of the partnerships. Schedule a call with me. Get a 15-minute call. Level up on all social media platforms, billboards, TV, podcasts. What y'all want to do? We going all the way up this year. Let's go.
Full speed, so volley Perrier, yeah. Come with me, leave all of your things, yeah. You can stop it, Gucci, stop it, Louis V, yeah. Come with me, fly you out the breeze. Full speed, so volley Perrier. Speedboats, baby, in Nikki Beach. Waves in my ear, smoking, whipping through the sand in a Jeep. All because of what I did on beats, baby. Life sweet, baby. I ain't stop, baby. You just go get ready, we go out, baby. Long time looking for the bounce, yeah. Ozzy had to bounce, yeah. Come with me, leave all of your things, yeah. You can stop at Gucci, stop at Louis V, yeah. Come with me, fly you out the breeze. Full speed, so go les Perrier. Come with me, leave all of your things, yeah. You can stop at Gucci, stop at Louis V, yeah. Come with me, fly you out the breeze. Full speed, just look at your knees.
Know what I just thought about? I just thought about like really understanding that it's okay to mess up. Like Arinthia got that on my heart right now. Like it's okay to mess up. It's okay that things don't go right. It's always going to be another day to shine like a champion. Look, if you guys are just now joining, we're talking about why are there traumatized entrepreneurs. Everybody's been going all the way in, and I want to hear from some people that I haven't heard from. I want to still go in. Andrea, do you have anything to say about this topic? Thank you for the flyer. It will be going, on the Media Mentors podcast, on the Stack Pack podcast. I appreciate you. Are you in the building to chime in about this, Andrea? Over to you.
Oh, yes, thank you. This subject is such a deep subject, and there's words that really jumped out to me today, which was courage, right? So when we're evaluating what the question, which is why are there traumatized entrepreneurs? One thing that really spoke to me here is that when we're living, it's a verb, right? So it means that we are, I am, I was. And when you become an entrepreneur, right, because we're just human beings and we take the title as entrepreneur, we're changing. It's a disruption, and when we're disrupted, there's something that happens inside us, right? There's a transition from one state to another, which means that we have to decide at that point how we respond as human beings. Are we going to respond in a state of fear or in a state of courage, right? And so, and many of you may have read the book, or heard the author Brene Brown, and she talks about the root word of courage. The Latin word is cor, and the original use was to tell one story from one's own heart, right? So it's connecting your mind with your heart or the sense of vulnerability. And I think that there are a lot of traumatized entrepreneurs because when we transition from one state of being to another, we're disrupting our path, like that serenity, and we have to choose. And some of us fall into the choice of fear versus courage, because there's always one extreme or the other, right? So when we make that choice to choose courage, to tell our true story, connect our mind and our heart, then we're living in a state of abundance. And so we do not have to contend with fear, right? Fear brings trauma, brings burden. There's a lot of negative things in that state of being. Whereas courage brings vulnerability. It brings triumph. It brings acceptance, right? And love. And there's an exercise that I practice where you close your eyes and because at the end of the day, love is the strongest motivation for peace, because people always laugh when I talk about happiness. But the reason why I talk about happiness is it's not some frou-frou thing. Happiness is so important when you're doing something because it's a strong emotion. And love, equally, right? Even stronger, probably the strongest, unconditional love. And so if we imagine what brings us closest to unconditional love, as an entrepreneur, we can shift our state of being from fear to abundance in that instant, because that emotion. And so if you close your eyes and you just imagine that face of a person, a being, a sentient being, just giving you that unconditional feeling of love, and then imagine that it just vibrates and resonates out from that person to your deepest enemies, to your biggest competitors, to your biggest naysayers, and all you can feel for them, all these people, from this, the people who love you to the people that hate you, right? All you can feel for them is love. Then that fear and that state for fighting to transition from one state to another, all of a sudden becomes obsolete. And you can live in that true self of sense of compassion and love and happiness. And that's the point when we are no longer traumatized by our own prisons, our own expectations that we set upon ourselves. So, why are so many entrepreneurs like traumatized, and why can't we break barriers? It's because we don't realize that we are changing from one state to another, and that we have a choice to choose how we change.
Choice to choose. If you guys agree, put a one in the chat. Go ahead, Andre.
Oh, that's all. We have a choice. First, acknowledge that that choice exists inside yourself, and then choose where you want to live. You know, that's it.
I love that, Andrea. Choose where you want to live. Choose where you. Everybody has a choice. That's what I'm saying. Why there's so many traumatized entrepreneurs? Look, breaking barriers. We're in the media mentors. Shit mansion. Please click the link at the top. If you guys have not got a part of the club, so that way you could be a part of conversations like this. I love having some like these deep conversations, things that make people think. Right? Who else wants to take the mic? Why are there traumatized entrepreneurs? Santos, over to you. Then I'm gonna check on my sister Lindsay. Go ahead.
Hi, Stack and everybody. First of all, I really appreciate this room because it gives me a lot of energy in the morning because it's a morning time here, 6:43 a.m. here in Sydney, Australia. And this room runs exactly perfectly for me, I guess, because lot of power on this room because I grown up myself with the media in my initial career, advertising, marketing, and research, and media, and all these things. They are very keenly connected with me. That's the reason I really like this room. I always come in here. Sometime I'm at gym listening. Sometime I'm driving listening. Sometime I got chance to talk. Sometime I don't understand the topic. I don't want to talk. But this topic is really great topic for me because I'm not only an entrepreneur, I'm a sociologist as well. So I look at the thing in a very sociological perspective. And I'm in the business for last 20 years, and I have experience back my home country, running a business in third world countries and running a business in Australia, one of the strongest economies still here. How I interpret is I have seen a lot of entrepreneurs in my 20 years of period, right? A lot of entrepreneurs, different types, up to the billionaire I have met, right? But the thing is, what I realize is there are two types of entrepreneurs. Number one, entrepreneurs, they always focus about the success. They always focus about the dollar. They always they always think about expanding, 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 and expanding, go hard and hard and hard. The other types of entrepreneur, they expand, but they look at the other thing as well, right? Life is so beautiful, right? We can't calculate your success only how much money you have, how many business you have, how successful you are, right? You have to look at the thing in a perspective, balancing perspective. What is that? Your health is important, right? You have good health, good education, your surrounding society, community, uh, and business, of course, right? So different people have different priority in their life, but end of the day, what is most important is yourself. So whatever you do is to revolve around you. What does that mean? Revolve around you means like you drive a good car, right? You live in the good house, you have enough time for yourself, you fulfill your hobby, you travel, you read good books, you have a good relation around your territory. So these are very, very important for yourself. Like, I want to give you a very solid example, very, very hot example recently happened. Day before yesterday, I was sitting in my store, Flower City new store here in Maryland, New South Wales, and I called one of my friend. He came. I don't want to tell the name of my friend. He's a close friend of mine. He owned a couple of businesses here and there, and he got a lot of workers. And we had a talk, and he came to my store, and we had a chit chat. When he come in, start to bombard his phones. He got a phone call. Then after he got a call from Nepal, he got a own business in Nepal as well. This and that. He came for 1 hour. Hardly we talked 5 minutes. And then I told my friend that please don't come next time if you have so many work, because you are entrepreneur, everybody entrepreneur, they have to manage their time, right? So when you are allotted your time for something, you have that freedom, that liberty to do so, right? So as an entrepreneur, if you cannot control your time, you cannot control your requirement, whatever needed for you, that's not a point, because money and the business is one thing, life is another thing. That's why I take the other route, that trying to balance whatever I can. So I have enough time to play with my kids. I have enough time to take my daughter to school. I have enough time to take my son for tennis class, right? I play cricket with them, backyard cricket at my home and all these things. And I have plenty of time for holidays. I go frequently here and there. Because why that's happening? Because I am in control. I'm the in charge. So I have to do what suitable for me, not suitable for other people, right? So that is the entrepreneurship, real entrepreneurship, in my opinion. And a lot of people, they don't know the definition. One way they are going all the way. I have seen a lot of broken families. The son doesn't respect, daughter doesn't respect their parents because they don't have enough time, because they are going one way highway. They are going. They don't have any time. So that's why we have to be on balance. We have to hold control ourselves, right? Because money, success, fame is not only goal of life. We have to live in a life in a holistic way. So I don't have much money. I do not claim myself I'm very, very rich, but I'm very rich in overall perspective. So that's what I would like to share. And if you do so, like, you know, if you manage, you control, even you can do a lot of things, right? But you have to have a control over it. If your time, whatever the time you allot for the business, you work in a very smart way, you use tools and techniques, and you rely on your staff, you have a good system, then you can grow bigger. Not any problem. But the thing is, first of all, you have to look at yourself first, that your family is okay, your kids are okay, you have enough time for them, your health is okay, you are fulfilling your hobby and interest and desire and all these things. So if you do that, then you'll be a good entrepreneur. That's what I believe. That's what I implement every day. Thank you very much, Stack, and everybody. You guys are amazing. You empower the room. And I stories, gender stories in my master's degree in sociology. So I give a lot of value to gender equality, and it's perfect gender equality at my home. Thank you very much. I'm done for now.
Woo-wee! Coming in hot. Santosh, I gotta make those stack flowers. I wanna check on my sister Linzea, see how she feeling about this topic. Why there's so many traumatized entrepreneurs. Let's keep this fire going. Appreciate that shit, Santos. Linzea, are you here? Over to you, sis.
I am. And yes, Santos, that was a powerful share, definitely reminding us where we get to place value, like what it is we choose to have value in when we become entrepreneurs. And really, that's any point, whether you're, a employee or not. The reality is that it really is important. What is it that we value? And I think that, traumatizing happens in the entrepreneurial journey because there's like there can be a lot of time in which you feel that you're in it or you see the vision alone. There can be a lot of times in which you're seeking to be understood or you're looking for people who will come alongside and care deeply about what it is that they're contributing. I do think it's really silly to expect others to
see your company as their company. And I think that it's important that if you are the owner of something, that you're the one that is doing the most. That's how I truly believe. I'm very much a Gary V follower in that mindset and belief. And I also think that when you build a dream, and if your dream is collaboratively, if you're envisioning something that really gathers incredible humans, that you make it mutually beneficial, that you really do help rise one another up. And so, building a dream big enough for others to have their own independent dream alongside and within it is essential to me. And I think what happens is there's a lot of scarcity out in the world. People have had experiences of trauma. I mean, goodness, I'll be really honest. I'm walking through one professionally myself at the moment, having gone all in on someone else's company for 15 years, having built the US market, having trained the teams and the sales teams and put together all the proposals and witnessing that they can do it more affordably with someone I trained than they can do with me, because I'm not going to work at that level for that amount of pay and have them continuing to add things. And so I think I think there's this idea that, we can have these experiences and then they lead to scarcity mindset. And when we are looking at things from a place of scarcity rather than abundance, we're going to be attracting that exact scarcity that we're so fearful of. And so it's so important that, we recognize our traumas. We also allocate those. So for instance, how one person treats me is not indicative of how everybody will treat me or how everyone will see me. And not every human will have the same level of integrity. So for me, it really is about coming alongside humans that have high level of integrity. I'm looking at my sister Shay right now. I've collabed with Angelica in here. Stack, I've met you and we've done some biz together. Andrea,
Amazing bit.
Andrea just like literally put me in her beautiful review and named me as one of the up and coming 2024 social
Oh yeah,
audio
yeah. Put that at the
influencers
top.
with
Some
your
please
eyes.
somebody put that at the top. People been blowing me up with
Yeah,
that.
so
Put that article at the.
listen, I just shared it in my story too. So yeah, real love. So again, we get traumatized because there are people out there that work and behave from scarcity, and so they may do some dirty things. And it isn't promised to be an easy, comfortable, or always optimistic journey. However, there's always an opportunity for us to embody the energy that we're seeking, to get more clear on our boundaries, to learn from our trauma, and to ensure that we become the attraction model so that we attract in incredible human beings like my sister Shay and our whole Wellness Warrior flock, like really attracting humans that have powerful missions, have brilliance that live within them. And we also all know that we're greater together. That, for our book club, for instance, like if Shay's going to a concert or a basketball game, or I'm going to a speaking engagement, or, she's going to create the recap and Leela's going to create the question. Like when you come into things collaboratively, it's greater because now it has the lens of everybody. So I believe that trauma exists because of scarcity and then that competitive nature. I believe when we get back into abundance and we also really think about how we can add value independently to make it more abundant for everybody, that's going to be the way through it. So that's what I feel on this topic. Powerful topic. And Stack, back to you.
Woo-wee. We going all the way in. Love that, Lindsay. And make sure you guys go be a part of the Wellness Warriors Collective. I love going there in the morning, calling things into my life, speaking that into existence. That's what it's about. Love that, Lindsay. I love that. Share. Ping the room up, share the room up. This article at the top, this is what I want to talk about real quick. I want y'all to really understand something. This right here, yeah, I like this. Who's responsible for this? Who put this thing together? Andrea, who put this thing together? I love it.
Yeah, everyone in the community put it together, the collective energy, because if I didn't meet you all, it wouldn't happen. So I just am so grateful to be around so many awesome individuals doing their thing, making an impact. And I know it's going to continue to grow and evolve and become something even more fantastic. So, yes, I'm really excited about that article.
I love this article. Make sure you check this article out ASAP, and make sure you also go check out the article with Miss Self Love. She got featured in Los Angeles Magazine thanks to internet traffic agency The Empire. She trusted in the company. She used the tools that was at her fingertips. She got featured on that. So shout out to Miss Self Love and shout out to Andrea for getting the top social audio influencers to watch in 2024 published as well. Yeah, this is what the media mentorship's about. I love you guys. Let's keep going, and I want to check on a few people. Shay, are you there? And then I'm gonna go check on the Eamon. Shay, are you in the building? How you feeling about this right here?
I love this because as a up and coming entrepreneur, I'm going to go ahead and call that in. I love that Andrea was speaking of the etymology of words. So I was like, let me go ahead and look up the etymology for trauma. And that word is Greek and it means wound. I was like, so the way my mind thinks, it's like, how many wounds do we have that we are still healing through, that we are still walking through, that are impacting our businesses or impacting, especially someone like me who's like taking small steps at a time, but at times may be afraid to take bigger steps. And I was like, let me go a little bit deeper. And it may be some wounds that I'm still working through. So I love that that word came up. Even when I think of wounds, think of your traumas and think of what triggers may be connected to those traumas. Um, at the end of the day, it all points to getting into an alignment with who you really are. Like those, I'm not pushing those things up under the rug. I'm not pushing the traumas up under the rug, but they happened. So, what can I do with where I am now with the resources that I have right now? Because I know what was promised for me. So, creating this space where there's honesty in the healing. Like, we know that there are things happening and there are things transpiring, but are we being honest about those things? Like, I know what I need to heal from. So, am I saying, oh, I'll get to it later, but I'm trying to get to my business? Oh, I'll get to that hurt later, but let me work on my business. Oh, I'm getting through that hurt and that sadness and what this person did to me, but let me get to my business. How can I truly be available for my business if I haven't healed through certain things? Some things may take more time than others, and that's okay. And I love that Stack reminded us it's okay not to be okay, but let's be honest about where we are, because when we are honest during the healing, we can become the best entrepreneurs. We can be a part of this list that Andrea just shared. We can use our voice a little bit louder. We can speak out a little bit more. We can do more. We can call in more when we get into alignment with honesty. Take a take a closer look at some
Put
things.
some ones in the chat if y'all agree that getting in line with that honesty. Go ahead, Shay, cook it up.
Yeah, don't, you know, there are a lot of things that we're working through, right? Everything is a process. But you don't have to carry it alone. There are too many resources out here to help us heal through those very same things. And it's up to us to be responsible for our own healing. It's our business that we're carrying, right? So it's our responsibility to take time to heal. But be honest. Be honest. You know that you are still upset or sad about something that has transpired or something that is happening, but I'm inviting you guys to dig a little bit deeper, get closer to who you are, and take the time to do the work in those things. And it may not be easy or it may be easy, but take the step, an honest step. Be honest with yourself and what's really happening. Take an honest step towards healing. And we could become, or I will become, or I will be, or I am the best up and coming entrepreneur. There we go. Then we can call in those true words in real time, real life. So thank you for letting me speak.
Woo-wee! We in the building. Media, mentorship, gonna go all the way in. Click the link at the top if you guys are not a part of the house, so that way you can be a part of conversations just like this. Click the link at the top also to check out the audio. Top social media influencers to watch. 2024 Influence. Appreciate you guys. Look, let's keep going in. Who wants to take the mic next to continue about this right here, about why they're traumatized entrepreneurs breaking barriers? Who wants to go in? Who's that? I
I'm
Trauma.
coming
see.
in.
Who's that? Go ahead. E-Man.
That
Who's that? E-Man. Who's that?
that was me, but there was another voice. So if they are in a hurry or something, you can of course go up.
Ladies first.
Thank you. Well, I have to come right away after my sister Shai just finished because I was almost thinking about the same very thing. How many wounds, and I'm not going to speak now about trauma, but how many wounds we have to justify because, and just because we love the people, the person who hold the knife. You know what? It's a shocking question, but kind of get puts you in the mirror, sort of. Sometimes we hold the knife. We hold the knife and we just keep holding on when in reality, some, at those moments, all you need is surrender. Do what you have to do. Do your best, but but don't hold on to the results. Sometimes it's not the right time. It's not the right way. It's not the right partner. All of it gets you to the point to stop. And through my journey of being an entrepreneur, I've learned a lot. I've like I'm not gonna say that I lost a lot of money, but I win a lot of lessons, and God has protected me so many times. And here comes the point where you, as Shay was saying, you don't have to keep going when you can't, when you feel like I can't, I just can't, I'm tired. You don't have to go on all the time. Sometimes you have to stop, reflect on what you have, admit that you have trauma, you have wound. Imagine if you have a wound in your shoulder and you keep covering it with a long sleeve shirt. People keeps coming hitting at you and you hurt. It hurt because it hurts, but they don't know. It's your own fault. You got to stop. You got to heal this wound first and keep going. And the second time, you're going to be stronger. The third time, you're going to be more stronger. If you're not dead yet, you are stronger. Even when you're tired, you're stronger. Even if you feel like I don't want to go anymore, you're stronger. The fact that you're still here telling you something that you still have time, you still have opportunity. But you have to be very mindful to the lessons that God brings on your plate, because that's God protection all the time. Some a lot of times we think that this is rejection. No, I want this too much to happen. We fall in love with our ideas, our thoughts, especially as entrepreneur, because basically I see entrepreneurs as solutionists. You focus on what's missing and create a solution for it. You find the mistake and you correct it. Creating solutions are a habit, are a skill that we keep developing. But sometimes the solution is within you. You need to do the mistake once, maybe twice, but not more over than this. You have to learn and the time for reflecting the traumas and the mistakes and it's a very, very um, fruitful time, very developing and improving. Because if you saw it from another lens, from the lens of what did I learn here? Where did I go wrong? Not to regret it, not to keep blaming yourself, not to feel guilty about it, but not to the only purpose of this is not to do the same mistake again. Is to know people and understand that we are different. We have to embrace our differences. We are so unique in every single way.
If you guys agree, put a one in the chat. Everyone's unique.
You're
Let's go,
not.
Ema.
You
Let's
don't
go.
agree. I know that you are a
Everyone's
unique
unique.
person. That's everybody unique in their own way. This uniqueness can suit you well and cannot suit me, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that they are wrong or neither me. Nobody should be wrong, but the only meaning is this person is not for me. And full stop and start new line, new chapter. Life waits nobody. Really, life waits nobody. Doesn't mean that we don't love people, we don't value them, but we don't have to keep involving them in our lives to keep hurting us, to keep negatively affecting us. The only way to do it is to keep your personal borders. Learn how to say no, because a lot of traumas comes when we cannot say no. If you're agreeing that, put a heart in the chat because that's my favorite. So I'm done speaking for now. Back to you, Stack. Thank you.
Ooh-wee. We in the building. We've been going all the way in today with the media mentorship, right? Going all the way in. Everybody went all the way in today. I love you guys. You guys always go in. Everybody. Look, are there any final shares or anybody that wants to go in
Yeah.
about the traumatized entrepreneurs? Messenger, what's
So
going on, man?
yeah.
Let's go.
All right. So Tavares and email was talking about solution, and then I put it in the chat: solution or soul solution. But then solution is about overachieving obstacles, like Tavares was speaking of, and those obstacles we look at them either as problems or challenges, both the same concept: problem or challenge. And then with the word challenge, there has the word change. All right, so there's that part. But then to go from the beginning about traumatized, well, there's not a person I've ever met that has not had trauma that cannot say they have trauma. So trauma doesn't discriminate. It hits everybody. Doesn't matter who you are, what you are. So, and now when I think of entrepreneurship, myself and other entrepreneurs I've met in doing so, there's I think there's another gentleman said there's two types of entrepreneurs. There might be more, but the two ones that I've seen are ones that are opportunists, and they go for the opportunity that they see in front of them. And then there's other ones that go for passion. But where does passion come from? It normally comes from that early childhood trauma. That first trauma that we've encountered in our life, we was fuel for our fire. And so that trauma, to overcome that trauma, we saw something that needed to be changed. And that was the challenge we took on. Did our soul take it on? I think so. But so in doing so, we found a solution to that challenge to change it. So our first entrepreneur activity initiated the root could have been that trauma, because a lot of traumas I've seen help mold people. As how many lawyers are out there because they wanted to make a change? How many people became police officers because of a bad cop, or because something of that, or maybe something happened to them or a family member? How many people became nurses and in the hospital because someone was sick in their family or something of that nature? So, in doing so, these traumas help mold us once we overcome those things. Now, we're going to go through it no matter what. No matter what, we're going to, but it's our choice to either go through it or grow, GROW, grow through it. And so that part of the trauma, why there's so many traumatized entrepreneurs, I was like, well, all right. One, for me, that's part of what made me my entrepreneur in the moving is in the moving industry was traumas of when I was a child. I was people saying, "Hey, stop moving, sit down, chill out, bro, chill out." Well, all right, well, I don't want to chill out. I want to keep moving and grooving. So I started a moving company. I'm gonna move no matter what, so might as well get paid for it, right? So, and I'm good at it. All right, so there's that part. All right, now also knowing that my trauma helped make me who I am today in doing so, or one of my traumas. Now, the traumas of happening that, all right, so the control that needs to happen in building a company. So, and now the traumas that happen as an entrepreneur is, again, we came from a passionate spot. We had a passion or we saw the opportunity. But again, do I have all the pieces of the puzzle to answers? No, I don't. So now in doing so, I've also heard many entrepreneurs that have been, what they trusted somebody. They trusted the accountant. They trusted somebody, and then that trauma. But in the doing, in the bossness, in the busyness of that company, to be able to play all the positions and wear all the hats, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to do that. I've tried, and or at least for me, it's ridiculous. I don't want to play all the. I don't want to wear all the hats. I want to play. I want to wear my hat. And so in doing so, some of those traumas, as now it keeps going, keep building, 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 keep doing. And so again, trusting other people is a very difficult thing because the communication and all that. And so getting lost in the sauce, in a sense, getting lost in the mix of the everyday doing instead of being, and appreciating that. There was another gentleman from Australia that was talking about how you got to appreciate it. And I can say, I know at times I got lost in that, even at that. So I know I was divorced during my entrepreneur time. While building my business, I got divorced. Why? Because I was so focused on the company, I lost track of what was at home, and that part of it. So that was a trauma. And then when I talked to many other entrepreneurs after the fact, they're like, they all acknowledge, like, yeah, we know, yeah, it happens to all of us. I'm like, man, what? But no one ever talks about that part. No one ever talks about that part normally. They talk about, so they support the business side of things, but then they don't support all the other parts. So these traumas, um, but at the same point, like you said, breaking barriers. So all these traumas, again, the beautiful part about it is as an entrepreneur, we find solutions. And if there's no trauma, then how can we find solutions? So most entrepreneurs are solution based. So they look for trauma. They feel the trauma, whether it's my trauma, your trauma, his trauma, her trauma. Those traumas, once you find a solution, there is gains to have, whether it's gains in the pocket, gains in the heart, gains in the soul. But either way, there's gains once you find the solution, and that's well respected all across the board.
Ooh-wee. Media mentorship. Y'all been going all the way in today. Damn. Danny, what's good, man? Talk to me before I get up out of here. Let's go. Or Sybil,
What's
who's
going
coming
on?
in? Talk to me. What's going on, Danny? How you feeling
You
about
tell
this
me, man.
topic, man?
I just popped in. I popped in to support you. You know.
Man, we talking about why they're traumatized entrepreneurs. Everybody been going in. It's just been a lot of talk about why there are, why people don't step up to the next level. What you got to say about it, Danny? Talk to me.
Um, man, I don't. Uh, man, I've been around. Look, for those that don't know anything about me, like I own and operate three businesses now. I'm partners with Grant Cardone, and others. And I started first. I came from the street life, and I mean street life. Like I see more shit out there than shouldn't even be seen. So that was traumatic itself. And then I jumped into the boxing world and made a career of that for 18 years. I've been in there with the best in the world, and then transitioned over in the music industry because I met a lot of people in through through boxing and just being around people like that built great relationships, and then I transitioned over in business from the music industry. Then I transitioned more into corporate business. And what I can say is
throughout all the people that I met, I mean, again, some of the biggest names in the world, every single one of them had something in common, and it's they all had stories as far as traumatic experiences that they've been through, um, that gave them the courage or gave them the momentum they needed to keep pushing. I tell this to people all the time, like in the boxing world, like there's levels to the game. And then the higher up you go, like I know a lot of people see, everybody posting stuff on Instagram now, looking cute and trying to, do stuff for likes and stuff like that. But then there's a whole difference when you get in there and you got somebody that's trying to take your head off, like for real. So, there's two parts of the game. And, when you're at that level, it's you go places mentally that people don't nor somebody normal would not endure. Like, I tell this to people, you want to really get an in-depth idea of what it's like the mindset of a fighter, you listen to Mike Tyson. That dude, he's the most outspoken. Mike's cool as hell too, but he's the most outspoken fighter I could say that could actually put things into perspective where people could actually understand. But then they label him crazy. But the fact of the matter is that we go through a lot of shit. So for us to get in there and and do what it is that we do to entertain, people die in there. I think it's an average of 13 fighters that die every year inside the ring. So we risked our lives to entertain people, but you have to go someplace mentally that a lot of people aren't willing to go. And all I did was I took that and I transitioned that over into my business life, and I mean I don't there's nothing there's I tell this to people all the time, there's nothing out there that scares me. Nothing could put nothing. I'm not afraid of nothing. I seen it all. So what I'm getting at is a lot of times people don't really harness the trauma that they have and put it towards like something. They allow it to hold them back. And I'm not speaking like on a side. I'm not a therapist or anything like that, so I can't really speak on that. But what I can say is, if people could find a way that they could take past experiences that they've been through, learn from them, and then use that as fuel, then you'll be much more powerful than a lot of other people. Because that's, like I said, all the successful people that have been around. Like I'm talking about, again, some of the most successful people in the world. Um, that's all they did. They transformed whatever it was they were going through, and they catapulted up. And everybody scratches their head like, how the hell did they do that? And that's exactly how Floyd talks about this. He's like, he's able to go places mentally that a lot of other fighters are not able to go. So, and I mean, it's I always say this is a lot of things that people do in life. Like I brought this into sports, but even in business, a lot of it's mental. So you can have the best skill set. We used to say this in the gym all the time. You got a fighter. He could be so talented. He could be so skilled. I've seen it happen so many times. Um, but he's not there mentally, and he's done. The- you know, you put a guy in there that has more heart, more courage, and he just clenches down as his mouthpiece and he wants it more, and he's gonna win, hands down. So I always say it's 80% mental and 20% physical. That's what we used to say, and it's the same thing in business. Like you have the best skill set, you have the best business, you have the best everything, but you're not right mentally, it's done. So I would say, I'm just using my story, and I hope that it's able to touch somebody. But at the end of the day, I can't really give advice on that. What I can say is, whatever it is that people go through, if they learn how to transform that, you'll be a lot more powerful than you think.
Danny, where you at, man? You going in? It's over with Danny. You went in.
You want me to keep going?
Come on, man. Look, Danny, let's tap in.
Bounce me up with something,
Yeah,
man.
let's tap in,
Yeah,
Danny.
bounce me
Call
up.
me, bro, this week. Let's get together.
I got
See
you. I
how we
got
can
you.
get lit. You know what I'm saying? We gonna
Yeah,
get
man.
litty. We gotta talk
Hey,
about some
Sack,
For
can I
sure,
biz.
man.
Who else?
piggyback off of what he said?
Go ahead, HK. Go ahead, bro. I'm closing in about 5 minutes. Go ahead.
That, so, Danny, you spoke on
trying to figure a way out to filter the things that go on in your life so that way it doesn't consume you. And I can just say from my own experience, being a new entrepreneur to the game, coming from the 9 to 5 into, my own business, it definitely takes a special individual that takes a lot of the negative criticism, the negative things that come along with it, and trying to mold it and use it as fuel. And I can honestly say I come from a background where a lot of sarcasm, a lot of criticism that was unconstructive, and a lot of just negative, unsupportive people. And I had to take that and I had to find a way to turn it into fuel for myself. I have a background in real estate investment, but also I have a military background. So I had to pick up the tools that was gifted to me and installed in me to keep pushing forward, to keep moving forward. And one thing I can say, being an entrepreneur, is that I'm learning a lot on self development. And one thing I learned is that fear really grasps a lot of people and it prevents them from wanting to move forward in their business. And I'm learning at this stage now that there's a cure for it, and it's action. Action cures fear. So instead of just staying stagnant and staying in one place, you have to take action, because if you don't, then that trauma that you're dealing with and that you're going through mentally is going to keep you stagnant. And there was some things that I had experienced and I didn't know how to get out of it. But once I was introduced to taking action, I said, "Yo, you know what? I know how to do that. I know how to take my right foot and put it in front of my left. I know how to take my left and put it in front of my right. I know how to put my head down and say, screw all the distractions, and I'm gonna just push forward, push." And one of the biggest mottos in the military in my unit that we had for my company was "seize the high ground." Buffaloes. And so that was one of our things that we stuck by. And under any circumstances, doesn't matter what it is, we're gonna capture that high ground. And once we have the high ground, then we everything else becomes ours. And so I say this, Stack. I appreciate the room. I appreciate everybody sharing. I've been sitting here listening. And Danny, you dropped a lot of gems, and I appreciate you being able to get on the mic and actually, speaking about where you come from and the things that you've learned, and the fact that I was able to latch onto that one little piece, and I just wanted to shed some light on it, and definitely come in here and show some support to Stack's room. He's always talking about his rooms, and he's always getting the word out. So it doesn't cost me anything to come in here and support 150%. So I appreciate this room, Stack. Keep it going. I'll be
Well,
here
listen,
listening.
man, I want to tell you, thank you. I appreciate your service. Thank you for your service. And we actually got, if you DM me, we actually have Cardinal University for vets. So if you DM me, I'll hook you up with Cardinal U for free. We give back to the vets.
Let's
So
go, Danny. I love that, bro.
yeah, man.
You had a fire ass room. Who's that?
Yeah, man. And
Appreciate that, Danny. All right, I
HK,
got
hit
you.
him up, bro.
and I just want to say, to your point, you know, a lot of people with the fear, a lot of times it comes from what other people think. And I used to think that way. I used to worry a lot about and think of a lot about what people thought of me, and I was a people pleaser. And my older brother, Mr. Cheeks of the Lost Boys, I gotta plug him in. He told me, they all call me Champ, and he was like, Champ, he was like, why are you worried about what they think about you? He's like, they're gonna say something regardless. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And he was like, dude, do you? He's like, don't worry about them. And ever since that day, like, I just stopped caring about what people thought. I don't care. There's nothing like, I really don't care. If people talk about me, I hope they do. That way I could share whatever it is they're saying, and more people know about me. That's my goal now. It's just to get as many people to know about me as possible. So you want to talk about me, go for it. Talk about me. I am who I am, and I tell people this all the time. I don't change who I am. I am who I am. You're either gonna like me.
Facts, Danny. We don't never change, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You're either gonna
Never.
like me or you're not. Like, I push people. In I got over 100 people under me and growing in my consulting business, and I push people. And I tell them, I'm like, listen, there's two things that's gonna happen. You come work for me, you're gonna be better, or you're gonna leave. and that's it. There's no like I'm real hard on people, and I have the permission to be hard on people because I'm hard on myself. But bottom line is I stopped worrying about what people thought about me a long time ago, and that's what holds a lot of people back. To be honest with you, they all try to please everybody, and they're like, I want this person to like me, dude. I don't care. Like there's so many people out there, and I have, and I what I've learned is the more I'm myself, the more people like me, anyways. So it's like, okay, I'm not. I say messed up stuff. It is what it is. I'm trying to watch my tongue on here, but I say messed up stuff. I slip a lot, but whatever. I'm human. And if you're gonna penalize me for that, then all right, cool. Penalize me. It is what it is. But make sure you look at yourself in the mirror and you're able to say that you're perfect. Because you ain't gonna, you can't do that to me. So I mean, that's just what I wanted to go off of that. Like, don't the criticism is always gonna be there. Haters are gonna hate.
Facts, Danny. I love that share, man. Shout out to everybody that pulled up today. Shout out to my sis Shar in the building too. I haven't
Shar, you see
seen her
Shar?
in a minute. Is that Bubba in the building? I appreciate you. Shar's out here working real hard on that real estate, doing her goddamn thing. Proud of you, sis. Can't wait till you come back to Boston, Shard. If you're around, you can chime into the topic. If not, I'm gonna take us out because we went crazy today. But we were talking about traumatized entrepreneurs, breaking through barriers. Danny went in, Miss Manifest went in, everybody went in. Miss Self Love, Andrea. Man, I heard from everybody. So Shar, if you want to go in, you can. If not, I'm gonna take us out, sis. If you're around.
I love y'all.
What
I
up,
don't even get on
Bubba? What's good,
anymore.
Bubba?
Hey. No, but this is okay. So we can just end it real quick. This is such a good topic. I was meeting some ladies at coffee today that are currently traumatized entrepreneurs, and I was telling them like people can dismiss. You know how people are church hurt, people are business hurt as well, and that's a real thing that people talk about. I think what's happening is there are individuals that are joining into different fields and different industries who want to be taught by somebody. And so what they do is mistakenly, they look to that person that's encouraging to them. They look to that person that's like a role model and mistake them for having quality leadership skills. So they submit underneath these individuals who don't know how to lead a team or lead people, and they get hurt from that. Is that person a bad person or not? They might not be. But when we are impatient or make premature decisions based on what look good on the outside, because this person's making this many transactions or they look like they're doing great business, and we aren't discerning to whether they could lead us properly in the industry that we're in, you get business hurt or you are traumatized as an entrepreneur. And so I was just encouraging the ladies, not to don't hold it against them. They might still be good people. They just don't have quality leadership skills. Move around, maneuver, and go the opposite route. And so the Bible verse that I received today on this specific topic is Jeremiah 23, 1 through 4. And I'm going to read it and I'll be done. And it says, "What sorrows awaits the leaders of my people, the shepherds of my sheep, for they have destroyed and scattered the very ones they were expected to care for. Therefore, says the Lord." And he says this to the shepherds: "Instead of caring for my flock and leading them to safety, you have deserted them and driven them to destruction. Now I will pour out my judgment on you for the evil you have done." And this is where the encouragement comes in. "But I will gather together the remnant of my flock from the countries where I have driven them. I will bring them back to their own sheepfold, and they will be fruitful and increase in number. Then I will appoint responsible teachers who will care for them, and they will never be afraid again. Not a single one will be lost or missing." So while you may be traumatized or you may have experienced bad leadership, there's still a good leader out there that can lead you to success in your industry, or you can just go and kill it yourself. Thank you.
Woo wee, my sis Shar. I can't wait till you come back to Boston. Please let me know when you're in town
I,
so
I
that way
want
we
Shar
can,
to
you
speak
know what
for
I'm
me from
saying?
now on.
Shar go crazy, man. I love chilling with Shar.
Love
She's
you,
a bunch
Danny.
of fun. Yo, let's get it.
Is that you, sis?
Hey, we in the building. I appreciate y'all. If y'all enjoyed the room today, put a one in the chat, man. We was in here for over an hour and a half, all the way till 3:30, ever since 2 p.m. It's over for me. Click this link at the top. Check this out and go to bookwithstack.com. Get a free 15 minutes so we can level up on all social media platforms. But I'm gonna let the last person, because I've seen Ha come back. Ha, can you get a quick share in, but so I can get up out of here? Let's go before I leave.
Hey everyone. Ooh, my battery's about to die, but yeah, I'll give a quick one. Hey, listen, entrepreneurs got traumatized. You're choosing the wrong audience. You're choosing the wrong buyer. How many times we do the right things, and there are sometimes some people just don't get it, right? Some some customers just come in, they just want it for themselves. They don't understand your value. It's so important to understand what your values are and align yourself with customers that align with you. Not so much if your product is $10 or $20 or whatever, but if your products are any more than $10,000 or more, pay attention. Because, you know, I just the other day, I'm thinking I always do the right thing, giving the right people and giving them the right path, right? And I am expensive. I'm very expensive, but you know what? If you want $200 million, it's going to cost you $500,000 to put up. But then she tells me I got somebody here pit that is willing to is charging $89. I'm like, okay, you have a good day. You want the $89 path? Go take the $89 path. And I just told her, congratulations, good for you. You should take the $89 path. That'd be a great fit for you. She didn't like that very much, but it's okay. The problem with people is that you don't know when to cut people off. It's okay to turn down
I love
some
that.
people. It's okay to take the product away from them. It is okay to say no. That's all I'm saying to you. So
I
back up to you.
appreciate that. And another person I want to get to, Ha, before I get out of here is Consuelo, because she's always supporting too. You guys don't really get to hear from Consuelo, but she's always here. So, Consuelo, if you're around, you got any words for the traumatized entrepreneurs in the topic today? Over to you. Thank you for coming today, Consuelo.
Well, I think if you're a really good leader, you'll be able to really understand the people, your team, and understand where they're going in their path. And I think the value that everybody provided today from Danny and Shar and even I came in a little late. For me, it's about you and what you can move forward with your core values. If you don't have your core values, understanding where you're aligned with your core values, as similar to what Ha is saying, I think you're just going to be totally lost and you won't be a good leader. And the fact of the matter is, trauma is trauma. I mean, if you cannot overcome a traumatic situation, there's always people surrounding you that can assist you in so many ways, and so many great leaders out there. But you have to choose the right path, the right people, surrounding yourself with the right network. And it's about collaboration. I come in a travel industry where I go to so many events globally and network myself with the right people. But I'm not going to provide my staff or my people the wrong products, the wrong way to sell something. You are selling something to people, and when it comes down to it, some people are traumatized by the fact that people say no to you, but it has nothing to do with you. It's probably what you're able to sell, and that's going back to what your core values is about yourself, understanding that you have a lot of power and a lot of resilience when it comes to understanding your products, the knowledge of your network, and also having understanding of what it is that you're actually um, selling about you. And in order to overcome any trauma, you really have to take the time to have some self care and some self love and just breathe. That's all I got to say.
Consuelo, we love it. Look, we had a fire room today. Tomorrow, Otis James will be in the building with us. Just breathe, like Consuelo said. Just breathe. Otis James will be here. We'll be talking about how to find the right real estate deal. And then we'll be going in next week with some more topics, some more fire stuff. Trying to manifest some stuff, trying to do some podcasting. Tomorrow we going all the way in with how to find the right real estate deal, RSVP, and I go in the club, RSVP for that. We don't stop. We went crazy for over an hour. If y'all, we went crazy for over an hour. Yeah, I gotta play Breathe. Look, Danny just did it. Danny, do I gotta play Breathe for him, Danny? Oh
Hit
man,
him with it.
Danny. Danny,
You
you
remember that
said
track?
it. I haven't heard
You
that in
remember that
so
track?
long, Danny. Danny, you just told me to play Breathe by Fabulous, bro. Oh my god, bro.
Yeah,
I
you remember that.
forgot about that, bro. Bro, listen, I'm about to take us out with Fabulous Breathe cause Swello told us to breathe. You know what I'm saying? Cause Swillow told us to breathe today. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, yo, make sure y'all tap into the Media Mentors Mega Mansion every day, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. EST. We got fire ass topics with fire ass guests. This is going right on the StackPackPodcast.com, right on iHeartRadio. Make sure you tap in with me with everything else you guys may need on social media, podcasting, billboards. We done did a lot. And we also signed the contract with Burrow Hemp. My cannabis and CBD line will be here ASAP. Damn. I appreciate you guys for, supporting everything that I got going on. Everything. And I love to help others out too. Shout out to Miss Self Love. She got featured on Los Angeles Business Magazine through the internet traffic agency, The Empire. Shout out to everybody that came through last week, the week before that, this week. We just was going in. Every room we did this week was fire. Every room. And it's always packed too. We always go crazy. Shout out to Miss Manifest, Kirk, Andrea, Crypto, Wifey Amanda, Danny, Consuelo, Beth, Santosh, Miss M, Tavares, HK, The Messenger Mini, GA, Sandra, everybody else in the room. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all pull up at 2 p.m. on time. Otis James will be here. How to find the right real estate deal. Sheesh. Now that's gonna be crazy. I can't wait to see what we get into tomorrow. Can't wait to see what else we call into our life. Oh yeah, make sure you wake up in the morning and join Linzea's room. Get up in there for that 750 self-love, self-care room. Right? Calling a lot of things in my life by doing this shit. Right? Shout outs to Helium Mobile as well. We signed a contract with that company as well. If you guys are looking to save on your phone bill, get with me with that. I'm also ramping the TV show back up. You guys know I got the deal with E360 Network. I signed the contract right before my birthday. I'll be putting more people on TV. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be seeing who else want to get on there. I also need more people for the billboards. So I'm trying to put people on, their brand right there in front of eyes. And also the magazine has been doing great. More publications, more. It's just gonna be more success. That's what I call into my life every time. So I appreciate everyone that stepped into the building today. Tap in with anybody that you may not have tapped in with and shit. Big pack. Let's keep going in, y'all. I'll see y'all at 2 p.m. tomorrow, man. Stack Pack Media Mentorship. Everybody on stage, let's just keep going crazy. I'm so excited because the cannabis line is here. Shit, pushing P everywhere. Let's go.
You gotta, Jody can't breathe when I come through, hum to some shoes. Gotta be 20, man, it's not even funny, they can't. It's so close, too tight, the left looks too right. You know what, you right, these can't. Look, they hearts racing, they start chasing, but I'm so fast when I blow past that they can't. In the presence of the man, the future look. Two, and the three, and the four, you gotta breathe. One and the four, you gotta breathe. You gotta, Jody can't breathe when I come through, hum to some shoes. Gotta be 20, man, it's not even funny, they can't. It's so cold, too tight, the left looks too right. You know what, you right, these can't. Look, they hearts racing, they start chasing, but I'm so fast when I blow past that they can't. In the presence of the man, your future look better than your past if you present with the man. You better can't share my air.